Back in the 70s, board games and improv theater had a baby, and it was called the role-playing game. These games allowed a generation of kids to live out their dreams of slaying dragons and saving kingdoms, all while sitting in their bedrooms and basements. Today, gaming has moved into the cultural mainstream, and role-playing games are back with a vengeance. Join us now as 5 of these former kids come out of the basement and onto the internet to experience adventure, mystery, and obscure pop culture references. It's time for Roll for Combat!
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat. I'm your GM and host Stephen Glicker, and in this week's show, we got quite a bit of stuff. We have part 2 of our interview with Order of the Amber Die. We have instructions on how to enter the PaizoCon contest where you can go for free. I give out a GM PC tip this week on why you should always use encumbrance and weight in your role-playing game, and what are the advantages and disadvantages. And finally, we announced the brand new Starfinder Society podcast right here on Roll for Combat. In fact, it launched yesterday, a sneak preview launch. Well, not really a sneak preview, more like a sneak attack launch, where it came out of nowhere. But that's right, we have the very first episode up right now. All you need to do is, well, go to this podcast and you too will see it. You could also go to the website and see it there. There's lots of ways to see it. So after 2 weeks of shopping and packing and endless talking and investigation, it's time for our boys to finally go out into the wild, into the jungle, where they will, well, let's see what happens. Will they survive? Will they die horribly? Will we have to roll up new characters? Will I have to buy lots of new artwork? Find out now on Roll for Combat. So last time you guys managed to go through the Elf Gate portal. You're now halfway across the world. It's literally 12 hours either earlier or later, depending how you look at it, at Castrovel, in the middle of the jungle in Ukalam, at a dilapidated fort, where you are ready to go chase after your prey and rescue the poor professor who was taken away. And you guys, I think, are finally ready to go. Are you sick and tired of just talking and doing more talking?
I charge the enemy.
Bob Marquis is playing the human envoy, Rusty Carter.
I would say yes, except I have a feeling I'll be regretting that answer in a half hour.
Jason McDonald is playing the Yosoki mechanic, Tuttle Blacktail, and his drone, Cheddar.
All right. Well, if you are ready to go, your contact at the fort will gladly take you as far as he can, because vehicles are not allowed in the protected area. So he can take you a bit of the way, but then we'll have to drop you off and you'll go on foot.
Sounds good.
All right, so you guys go to the vehicles. They're like sort of ATV type vehicles, and you guys all kind of clamber in. You have all your gear. They start driving, and it looks like, they're going along. Sure enough, the terrain is extremely rough. No roads, no nothing. It's all wildlife. The area that you're in appears to be grass. The grass ranges from 3 to 8 feet tall. It's very difficult to really see past the grass at many points. There also appears to be a large amount of fungi and fungus around the area. Sort of the fungal spores that are scattered. You also hear lots of wildlife and sounds of the jungle. It's actually fairly noisy, because it is, well, it's a jungle. And you go for about 10 minutes, and looks like you're a good 10 miles or so from the fort. And they inform you that this is it. This is as far as they can bring you. You are now on your own.
Mo is going to tell them we can't stop here. This is monkey bat country. We have to keep going.
John Statz is playing the Vesk soldier, Mo Dupinsky.
Yeah, I like to stay on the vehicle. Never get off the vehicle.
Chris Beamer is playing the Lashunta operative, Hiroji.
Yeah, we like the vehicle. By the way, my weapon is ready. A melee weapon's not going to do me very much good in a vehicle. Are they open to further? Like, first of all, how far did we go? Like, we have a 10-day journey to the destination, correct?
Yes.
By the map,
You
okay.
have approximately 120 miles through a trackless expanse of subtropical forest.
Okay, and how far did we go on vehicle?
About 10 miles, but
Okay.
vehicles are banned. They can't go any further than this.
Right.
And in fact, they show you, they drive the vehicle just a few feet, and it stops because it's chipped. Nothing works past the perimeter.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
it's chipped.
It's like the shopping
Yeah,
carts
I was
at
gonna say, yeah.
Target.
The driver has like a collar that gives him electrical shocks when he goes too far.
He says, "No, you're not the first one to try to do what you look like you were about to do. The vehicles won't work even if you try."
Did they take the other party with vehicles?
Yes.
Okay, so we didn't gain any on them by
You did
riding
not.
with them. All right, so oh boy,
Let's disembark and let's hoof it. We knew we had to
Yeah.
do this.
guess there's a lot of red tape in the bush. There's no way to get any further on vehicle, so on foot.
It's environmentally protected.
Yeah, and in fact, now that you're sort of out of the vehicles and out of the air conditioning, it's hot. It's really muggy. It's hot. The days are long. It's over 90 degrees, and you guys definitely need to turn on your suit protection if you want to continue to not take any heat exhaustion damage.
All right.
That's going to definitely happen. However, is heat exhaustion, is that a check that can be done? Survival doesn't have anything to do with that.
It is a fortitude save. It is a DC for your all intents and purposes. It's a DC 19 and then increases by 1 every hour on the hour. And if you don't succeed at the check, you take 1d4 non-lethal fire damage.
Okay.
That's every day.
Every day, and it's hot for about 12 hours a day.
All right, and we have battery life in the suits for how long?
You have the
Not long
length of the amount of days based on the level of the suit. So all of you
okay.
have level 5 suits, except for
Right.
Rusty was a level 4 suit.
So we have about 10 days worth of cooling, and then we're fucked. So
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
all of you have 10 days worth, except Rusty was 8 days.
Actually, Mo has 2 suits here, so he's got double that. They gave us Lashunta Ringwear 2, and
Must be nice.
so I got an extra
You
pair
have
of armor just
20
sitting in
days.
cheddar. Yeah. All right, so
In
Mo's
fact,
fine.
you're going to sleep with the air conditioning on. You're like, I'm just going to sleep with it on at night.
Well, at night our tent has that, doesn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, your
that's-
tent has air conditioning.
Yeah, so okay, so we're good. Yeah, we're turning. Everything goes on, and this is rough country. So Mo does not mind going first if we're set in order. He'll be able to scout too, because this is his kind of territory.
Oh, you're in front. In case that was unclear.
Yep.
I can't wait for the hunt. I've just been looking forward to getting back here. I have some.
Yeah. Although
to pick.
that's all bullshit because Mo is a city. He's a city boy. He's trying to pass off that this is like the Pine Barrens, the Sopranos episode
Oh, great.
where they're out in nice shoes and slacks out in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm thinking of the old children's story of the city Vesk visiting the country Vesk, and every other race made fun of them.
Yeah.
So in this area, you are in what I said, tall grass. You can see about 90 feet. After that, it's just grass. So it's only really about 90 feet in any direction. As for where you're going and how you're going to get there, well, there's a couple of ways you can do this. First of all, you have all the books and the notes from Zan, which will definitely be helpful when you're doing your orientation. And they actually will give you a small bonus when doing your checks. As for following the group that you're chasing, there's two ways to do this. You can either follow them directly, and it's an easier check, but you go much slower. Only go about 9 miles a day if you're going to do that type of check, because you sit there and make sure you're following their tracks. It shouldn't be too hard since there's 15 of them and they're carrying heavy equipment. If you don't want to do that, you can just take a regular check, which is going to be much tougher, and that's survival. But all these checks are survival checks, and that's just using intuition and the notes. And if you succeeded that, you'll go 12 miles. However, if you fail on these checks, you get lost, turned around, you have to sort of backtrack, and you only go 6 to 4 miles.
Do we know what the DC is?
The DC, I will let you know. The DC, if you're following them, and you only can do 9 miles a day, is about a 12. If you're going to do 12 miles a day, that's an 18.
We've got a lot of people who have survival and who could aid on these checks. I'm inclined to risk. When you say 6 miles, you mean 6 miles in the correct direction. You don't mean in the wrong direction, correct?
Right. In other words, you go maybe partially the wrong way. You basically,
the aggregate vector is going to what we're going. Okay.
If you do it on your own, you go 12 miles. If you follow them, you do 9 miles. If you fail, you can go 6 to 4 miles in one day, and you fall behind.
I've got survival.
What's your survival level? What's your pluses?
It's minor. You're the best survivalist.
What is it though? Because you need to get a 10 to be able to assist.
I'm also going to rule, since this is an all-day check and they do it a little differently, if you assist and you fail, that can go against the check.
A -2. Yes. I don't have any pluses. My survival is just +0.
So you're not even ranked in it.
No, I don't think so. Let me check just to make sure.
Does anyone else have survival? Rusty has to have survival.
You'd think so, but actually I don't. No.
Wow. That's
see, what I've been hearing for all this time is that we have a mighty native hunter, Hiroji, who is exceptional among his people, among hunting in this continent. So I figured I never needed to actually bother to worry about it.
And you are absolutely right.
Yeah, you know what?
That was a correct assumption.
I'm a 50-50. I'm literally 50-50 for.
Yeah, you're not. You're no help. Like when you said you had survival, you actually don't.
Yeah,
I put A rank into it, so I'm +3, but nothing special.
I mean, if we go the safe route, it's a DC what? You said 12.
12.
That's.
So I need to hit a 5. I need to hit a 5.
Well, what's Wayloss? Wayloss ought to be. He probably has a high intelligence, so he probably studied.
Yeah, survival doesn't strike me as a skill of his.
Waylos comes up. He goes, I'm really, really good at piloting, and I have some acrobatics and athletics, and he shows off his muscles, and I can see real well. And he sort of looks around. He goes, but survival, I'm more of a city folk.
How are you at ironing? Because at the end of each day, I'm going to need you to iron my clothes.
No problem with that. I have a +3 in houseware in skill.
Good.
It's hard to keep the starch dry in the jungle. Your starch.
Oh no! I just use urine.
So I don't know. I'm reluctant to do the 50-50 roll an 11 to get lost check. I think we'd be better off doing the safe way because we just don't. It's too risky. We're going to fail.
Well, the safe way is probably the same distance, though. It's the same penalty. You know what I'm saying?
No. Well, the safe way is easier, but you only go 9 miles because it takes you a while to sort of find their trail, make sure you're going the right way. You go slower. If you just go on your own, you go faster, but it's much easier to get lost because you're literally in a jungle just using your notes and your survival instincts.
Oh, so the safe way is there's no way to fail the safe way?
No, you can fail the safe way.
Still there is. Yeah.
Oh,
I have a +7, so I got to hit a 12.
Oh, dude, +7 is. Yeah, well, I mean.
That's 1, 2, 3, or 4 is a failure. If we do it the other way, a 1 through a 10 is a failure.
Yeah.
The way this is done, by the way, just so you can plan, they abstracted this. Every day you just make this one check. As opposed to, say, how Pathfinder used to do. You would do a lot
Hourly or
checks.
whatever. Yeah.
So it's all or nothing, and because this is going to go on for a while,
Right.
so they just made it all or nothing.
How many miles do we have to go?
Well, I'm not making the roll, so I think it should be Hiroji's decision.
120.
Chris, your call. You're the one making the roll. You're the one we blame if it
All
goes
right.
wrong.
Are you? And you're
All
taking.
you.
You're holding. You're holding bad assist rolls, even from trained people as against us.
I'm going to do a little bit of a negative only because it could be like the bad assists could also say, "Oh, I'm going the wrong way," or
So that's a
he
house
gives you
roll.
bad information.
Because then it's not. There's no point. I'm not going to risk that because I mean.
All right, you know what? Because you guys are so pathetic, I won't do that. How about that?
All right. Good.
Unless,
But I mean, you
he
can say that no one
rolls-
who's doesn't have a point in it can't assist or something.
I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that you have to have at least a point in it because this is hard jungle. But I will also say if you get a 1, then there is a negative. How about that?
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with that.
All right. So you know what? Fortune favors the bold on day 1. Let's go the fast way. And Tuttle, if you could assist me, since you have the only one of these people who has never been out of the city ever.
My character is wearing a fedora.
I mean,
I'm going to carve Fortune Favors the Bold on a piece of wood so that when they find it next to our bodies, they'll realize what happened. Yes.
That'll be on our tombstone.
You know from jungles. There you go. That's a plus.
There you go, an 11.
Perfect.
There you go.
That's
Do you have any
perfect.
bonuses to your survival you can add to that?
I'm sorry, +3, so it's actually
Oh.
14.
All right.
Oh, good.
All right, so
Great.
that's an assist. So that gives me a +2 on this roll. I need to hit an 18. So let's do it. You ready?
Wait,
John,
you need to
John's
roll
not
an
assisting?
18?
John, you need to assist.
No, I
No,
don't.
John,
I'm
John
not ranked.
can't. He's saying he's not ranked. No one else.
got
is
it.
I'm a
ranked.
city
Never
boy.
mind.
All right, before you
Right.
roll, I want to be a bit of a kind of nerdy techno. Should Steve roll this since we're not supposed to know if we're lost?
I think he's just going
Oh.
to say you only travel six miles instead of 12 or 4 miles or whatever.
I think it's totally fine for you to roll it because you know how far you travel in a day.
Yeah.
And
We just want to know what
We have
direction.
GPS.
all right, so are we ready?
What do you need to roll? What do you
Chris?
need to roll with the
Chris,
plus
I want to encourage you here.
I need to roll a 9.
Okay,
Okay,
with
Chris?
the +2?
Yes.
Don't screw up. That's my encouragement.
All right.
Don't
There you go. Here's
ruin
me not
everything
screwing
for
up.
everyone.
Don't take the left turn at Albuquerque.
Do it.
Okay.
Hey everyone, Steve here. Just a quick note. At this point of the recording, we actually were all screaming so loud that we blew out the connection. It's a real shame because it was pretty funny what happened. Anyhow, we pick up where we last left off. Okay, Hiroji rolls a 2, which gives you a 9. So you get a +2 to that,
Right.
which is 11.
Which would have failed the
Wait.
other roll.
But you frantically look at your notes, and it gives you another +2 because you have all those books. So you have a 13, which means you would have succeeded if you did the easy way, but you didn't, so you failed. And you kind of get a little bit lost. And instead of making 12 miles of progress, you make... Let me just double check that.
So, Jason and John, we're agreed that if we run out of actual food out here in the jungle, that the first thing we do is we eat Hiroji, right?
I figured we'd eat Waylos first.
Well, okay,
yeah,
right.
yeah, he's going first.
But of the core party, yeah, probably Hiroji.
So
Okay,
here's where it gets
makes
interesting. Because you're going faster, you do make 6 miles. So it's not too bad. You didn't quite make the 12 miles. You definitely didn't make the 9 miles, but you made 6 miles of progress.
That's
And
good.
you
That's-
guys,
Okay.
you guys are okay. You're exhausted because you've been up. You did that whole investigation. Then you just trekked through the jungle. So
There
you
was a
guys
bunch
need
of
to go to
trees in
sleep.
my way. I couldn't see where I was going.
Yeah, you know what?
Damn
Because
trees.
we're behind now. Now we definitely want to go the shortcut.
Yeah, we got the books. We got a horticulture expert in Tuttle. He can help assist, and we're good for tomorrow.
This is light. It'll clear up.
Can we order delivery? Is that an option?
Yeah.
So do you guys set up the tent? You going to be doing any watches or anything? You guys are all
Oh,
real
yeah.
tired
Why
because you've
would we
been
need
up
watches?
like 18
No,
hours.
no reason for watches.
I think we need watches. Of course we do.
Okay, well, we're going to eat around the fire tonight. If you could set up the table. In the morning, I prefer a 3-minute egg. And obviously, if you could just actually make the beds before we all get into the tent. You can wait out here, right?
Can't we just have Cheddar keep watch?
Ooh.
You sneaky bastard. That is a
Oh
good
yeah,
idea.
that's true.
I mean, no. No, he's like Terminator. He just stands there looking.
Sentinel mode.
Yeah, sure. He can definitely, watch. And you guys are all inside. Good thing the tent has a room for 8 people, so Wolf also has a nice...
I take up 2 spaces just to get a buffer zone.
They're bunk beds.
Oh.
So, yeah, he can definitely get you the eggs. He found some on the trek. He has no idea what they're eggs of, but he can make them for you.
Well, right.
He shows them to you. They're blue with yellow spots.
I say, I wouldn't eat that if I were you. I know what that is.
Really? What is that?
There's like a 50-50 chance there's a live snake in there.
Okay, Wayless, I'm going to want you to test a couple of them first before you boil them.
Okay, I hear them snakes is good eating. All right, so you guys doing anything else?
No, I think we're ready for another track, right?
Mo was sleeping.
We didn't run into the flora or fauna that was hazardous.
No, nothing harmful. I mean, as you're going through, you can definitely see, as I said, you're mostly in grassland, this area. You're not in the jungle yet. So you guys all get up. You guys, Cheddar kept watch. Nothing happened. There was no no alarms for perimeter. And yeah,
We didn't have a wacky AI thing where, we told him to attack anyone who comes near the camp, and he killed all of us in our sleep.
That's tomorrow.
Good.
All right, I say Tuttle. I think this is definitely the direction we go today, right there. What do you think?
I will apply my limited survival skills.
Wait, are you doing the difficult one or the easier
Difficult one.
All right, you got it.
Make up for last time.
All right, roll to assist.
Jason, can you promise me that Dr. Tuttle is getting down on the ground and sniffing with his little rat nose, please?
Rolls a
That's a good
16 for an assist. Not bad. Plus 3, 19. It's kind of like the ritual. That's a good
That would
movie.
have succeeded. All right, so with the book and with Tuttle's help, I get a +4 to this roll to hit an 18. Ready?
Yep.
Well,
That's a success.
That's a success.
because you have a +4. Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, he had a 17 plus 4, 21.
Nice.
Blackjack.
Succeed. I presume you guys will turn your suits on, right?
Oh, yeah. Suits are definitely on.
Excellent. You guys managed to make good progress. You go a good 15 miles, and you're doing pretty well. However, you do notice that this area is sort of like the very last area where the grass is starting to die down, and now you're going to be going into the jungle proper.
Well, get ready. Get ready, boys. We're going to the jungle proper. You have your big machete, Mo?
I want my jungle proper.
So, are you guys going to rest? Relax?
Yeah, we got to
the
do our
whole
rest.
thing?
Yeah.
Should I start singing "Welcome to the Jungle" or is that too much?
We got our Cheddar on the watch. Good call on Cheddar being the guard there.
All right, Cheddar, once again, sees nothing of interest. He's just scanning, going around the perimeter. You guys are in your nice tent. It's got like a little air conditioning, got like a little, you can listen to
Room
podcasts.
for 8 in our tent.
I know, it's a big tent.
Yeah. Love
And
it.
day 3, what are you doing?
Oh, let's go for it. We got this. We're on the right track. Let's make some good time today.
So you're feeling all cocky because you managed to roll in the double digits for the first time in about 12 rolls, right?
Yes.
By getting that 10,
I'm gonna ride the
you're all
roll.
excited. You're feeling all feisty about it. All right.
Yes, I am.
Tuttle succeeds with his assist. Rolls a 14.
Okay.
So
All right,
this is
here
plus
we go.
4.
+4. That not good.
Okay.
Rolls
we
a
go.
9. 16
Yeah, it
plus
works.
4 is 20. There
20.
you go.
You didn't make the double digits. That was still an outlier. That was just a one-off
annoying.
of rolling 10
Yeah,
that
That's
time.
annoying.
Annoying.
You're doing well. You're doing well. You guys are now in the the dense subtropical rainforest. You're now in the forest proper. You go about, I'd say about 7 miles when you see / hear something near you.
near being in front of us, or to the sides, or behind us, or what?
The path that you have to take, you notice some very large creatures. I'll show you what they are in a second.
I
By
draw
the
my
way,
weapons.
you mentioned a path. Are we following
their
somebody's
tracks.
trail? Are we doing that really?
Well, no, we're not. We're doing our own thing, but we're probably.
We should be able to follow their tracks. I mean,
Well, that's the going slower thing. That's the going 6. That's the lower roll, right?
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Okay, so we're not following their tracks.
You are following their tracks. You're actually not following their tracks directly. You're following the same direction that they are going.
We're actually going a more efficient way, probably, because we're going like a really good.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that would make sense. Yeah, because this is a 3-day-old trail for 15 people. So
You see off in the distance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gargantuan animals. They are immense. They appear to be about 40 feet tall, and they are drinking some water.
Oh wait, wrong franchise.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
they are knocking over trees like they are toothpicks. You are near them.
Vegisaurs?
yeah, they look
Well,
like it.
If someone was hailing from Castroville
Oh yeah.
and did a life science check, they might be able to know
Oh
what
yeah.
these are.
I know what these are.
They look like they are rideable.
Chocobos? Also wrong franchise.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, Hiroji rolls a 2 again for a
For a
life
10.
science check for a 10.
Well,
Wow.
you don't know that much about them, but you know that you've heard of these creatures, and you know that they are semi-calm, but they obviously are. One of these things is way past your weight class, alone 8. They're right in your way. What are you going to do?
Well, I still think that maybe we can use one of these for a mount. Maybe get one of the smaller ones and try to ride one of those.
The smallest
So,
one is 40
Your
feet
peaceful
tall.
response is to lasso it, hog tie it, jump on its back, and start whipping it. That's Mo's plan.
Well, if there's
how
a smaller one, we'll
Yeah.
try to get one of the baby ones.
stealing their children. This is how we're de-antagonizing the situation. Okay, good.
Hey,
Well,
Moses said the guy. These are his suggestions, you know.
I think they
That's
could. I think we might be able to scare them off. No, I think they're. What do they eat? Are they eating like vegetation?
Yes, they're eating vegetation and drinking water.
Yeah. So
Why don't
they're-
we go around them?
Yeah. I mean, how big is the herd? I mean, well, all right. Yeah, that's just a little detour. I say we go around them.
Yeah, you can definitely go around them. You're definitely going to lose some time here. And you might even have to backtrack, and you won't get the full 9 miles. But
12
it looks like... Sorry, 12. No, 9 miles. Oh, no, 12 miles. You're right, 12 miles. Yeah, it's really up to you what you want to do.
I could try stealthing up there and throwing a grenade.
Okay.
Hear me out.
All right.
Hear
All right.
me
Let's.
out.
I want us all to learn the word de-escalate.
Hear me out.
Let's learn this word.
A grenade
No, I-
won't make a lot of noise in the forest like this. This is
No, I would
big-ass
think it would make
brush.
a lot of noise.
No, animals
No.
respond very well to loud noises that they can't identify.
They would charge the other way though.
Yeah, but they're far away from. They're very
That's
far
where you
away.
are. No,
These
they're
are
not that
very big
far.
distances.
No. You guys can only see within 70 feet. You only saw them. They're about 70 feet away.
Do I think that a loud noise from a goblin grenade might send them running?
You have no idea, but it looks like they're walking over trees like they're toothpicks, and
it'd be
they're
nice
just
to-
crushing everything in their path.
It'd be nice to have them stampede to the northwest and make a nice path for us.
Oh, that's a good idea, says the city dweller.
Yeah. Okay. Can I make an intelligence check, just for a common sense?
On
throwing a
Hiroji or on
grenade?
the animals?
Yeah. Can I say that? What I want to do is do a basic common sense intelligence check of throwing grenades at dinosaurs does not actually going to end up with a positive outcome.
It's kind of a waste.
I'm not going
of
to
a
throw
grenade.
it at. I'm not going to throw it at them. I'm going to throw it in a like near them, so they're not damaged by it, but it causes a loud
Okay.
noise.
We also haven't gotten into your usual luck with grenades.
Yes, let's not even. Yes.
How
that's
hard
also-
could it be?
Ah,
How hard could it be to hit the 40-foot tall? How hard could it be to drop a grenade on the ground? We
yeah,
found
Hiroji, you rolled a 2 for a wildlife check on your own home world. That's
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I know a lot about them. I say, look, I know all
you
about
go
these-
hunting with grenades. Apparently, this is
Yeah.
we're not really. We're learning a lot about the mighty hunter Hiroji in this adventure.
I go hunting with grenades, and the funny thing is, I'm not even proficient in grenades.
well. If these guys are over our weight class, they might not know. Dude, let's see. Mo will go up by himself to like see if they spook at all. I mean, they probably won't even notice. I mean, we're not going to pose any threat. Like they're probably just going to sit there and watch us go by. And I mean, these things are huge. We can't possibly kill them.
No.
Go around them.
There is
Gotta-
zero chance that you probably one of these, let alone eight.
Yeah, but that's if they aggro.
Avoid,
You know.
avoid the encounter.
All right.
Well, we lose time that way. I want to make them.
Oh, please.
Well, we
You're going
made
to
a
roll
roll.
2 on tomorrow's check anyway, so we're going to lose time one way or another. I'm
Ah,
saying
can't
let's
be-
not die.
It can't be more than a mile lost. I mean, this is just a
I'd rather lose time than limbs.
Yes,
yeah,
excellent.
Okay, all right. That's a consensus. We have a quorum.
All right, I think we can do this, but okay.
What are you doing?
We're going to go around them.
We're going to go around.
Okay. You start to move. Suddenly, you hear a shot ring out across the forest. One of the large beasts roars up, going crazy. Roar! They all look to you. Stampede!
What?
Okay.
Give
Well,
me a perception check.
all of us, I presume.
Everyone can do it. Yeah.
We got a 14, a 20. Moro's a 14. Hiroji 25 perception.
25. You can stop right there if you want. Rusty rolls a 1. He doesn't even know where he is. Hiroji saw off in the distance, way up in the canopy, quite far away, the suppressed muzzle flare in the distance. Someone used a sniper rifle and shot these creatures.
Shot one of them.
Yes. So, this is how it's going to work. This is in the form of a chase. You are running for your lives, and they are all stampeding after you. They go first, and then you guys go, and you have specific actions in which you can take. The actions are things like activate an ability, like casting a spell, or trying to do something. You can try to distract, which is like a bluff or intimidate. You try to like draw their attention away. You can hide and try to hide and not get trampled over. You can try to navigate and find a good path to temporarily escape from them. You can scramble, which means you clamber over obstacles, swing across gaps, running through the jungle in crazy ways. You can spook, which is try to spook them. You're not going to scare them off and maybe spook them so they don't trample you. And then you can try to squeeze into a between two logs or two spaces where maybe they can't quite follow you. So those are the different things you can do. Those things are like acrobatics, intimidate, athletic, survival, stealth, bluff, intimidate checks.
Nice. I knew we should have scared them first. God damn it. You should listen to me. This is my plan, but I know what
They go first. First thing they do, they bellow. A nearby, they're called yarks. Yark trumples loudly, and it successfully hits one random PC. And that PC will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cheddar. Cheddar takes 4 points of sonic damage.
From their roar? Wow. All right.
Cheddar has jets, though. He can avoid.
Well, but they're
Yes.
only short bursts. They're not like sustained flight.
Each one of these rounds is 1 minute in length. So this is being abstracted to.
Okay. Are these part of the core rules or this encounter?
This is part of the both. It's called chase rules.
All right.
It's sort of called it's called a
Okay.
chase. Actually, Chatter can do a fortitude save on the penalty on the sound if he wants it quick. He gets a 13 and fails. So yeah, he takes 4 points of sonic damage from the bellow. Now you guys go and you each tell me what you're gonna do to try to get away from the stampede.
Do you want us to roll this shit every time?
No, you guys all go in whatever order you want. It's up to you.
You'd said bluff for distracting them. Can I only attract their attention to me, or can I try and attract their attention to, hey, look over there?
No, it's like a personal check, I think.
It's
for everyone.
each of you do your own personal thing, and if you try to distract, you basically draw the attention away from the PCs, the other ones, and they go after you.
Yeah, okay. I'm not doing that then.
Oh, you should do that one.
No.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's why I was checking. There's no way I could do the
What's
throw the stone
Intimidate
over
do?
there. Yeah.
I'll tell you what each one does. So here, I'll go through a little bit more. If you activate an ability, that's like casting a spell. It's like if you guys don't really have that. Like
You don't have
if you had
spells. You can skip that part.
Yeah, that one I can skip. Distract. That's if you're trying to either bluff or intimidate them. You're trying to draw them to you, and you can get damaged as they come after you, but it ignores all the other PCs. You can hide, and that's specifically for you. And if you hide, and if they randomly attack or do something offensive next turn, you get bonuses. That's a stealth check. You can navigate, where you try to find a good way to escape, and you just temporarily escape them. That's a survival check. Scramble is you scramble over obstacles, and that again gets you away. That's an athletics check.
Nice.
Spook is you try to scare them, but not enough to stop them. And if you do spook them, you can also try to do a ranged attack on them, and to basically do an intimidate to sort of spook them and run them away. That's only for you. It doesn't affect any of the other PCs. And then finally, squeeze is trying to squeeze between large obstacles or nimbly cross a fallen tree as a shortcut. And again, you get away. So you're all kind of on
That's an acrobatics check, I bet.
Yeah, that's acrobatics. So you're kind of all on your own. The main ones you have to think of, if you're not going to try to really help, is survival, athletics, intimidate, acrobatics.
And I missed what
No.
intimidate does in context. I'm sorry.
You spook them away, and it won't.
From you.
He's charging you, and you spook him, and he runs the other way.
But that's not party wide.
That's not party wise. Distract is party wise.
Mo is going to scramble.
Give me an athletics check. 27. You are just like, woohoo! And you just scramble away, and you're like, this is kind of fun.
Watch that lizard go.
You succeed. Who's next?
Good luck, boys. It's every man for himself.
All right, I'm going to try and intimidate the one closest to me, and then
Spook him.
run away.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to do an intimidate check. That's plus 10. Wait. 29 intimidate. Roll
Wow.
plus 10.
Wow. You do fantastic. You look at him, and the thing's chasing at you, and you just give it your, the stare, like the Rock. You sort of do the one eyebrow up, and it just runs away. It's like, oh, success.
In context, the Jumanji rock. Yeah, okay.
That is correct.
Very good.
Who's next?
Hiroji will do what he does best. He's going to stealth.
He's
I'm
going
gonna
to hide. I like how you
Hide.
call it stealth. It's called hiding. You're hiding.
I'm hiding.
You're good at hiding.
We'll call it cringing.
You take cover. This is actually pretty good for you, but it doesn't really count as a success for the party. It will actually just give it bonuses to you next round, but it doesn't help you actually escape.
Okay.
And finally, it's Tuttle.
Unfortunately, I am not great on the sort of physical skills, so
But you're a mouse.
I guess I'll have to also do stealth. So
All right, which one are you doing? You're gonna.
I was going to do stealth, which is plus 6. I can roll it if you want. Or you can do it.
You try to hide, rolling an 11, and you don't. And you're like, ah, they're on me, they're on me. Now they go. Gang up. Several of the arcs converge on one PC.
And who might that be?
No, it says PC. I don't think NPCs count, because they're NPCs, not PCs.
Oh,
Several yards.
We don't have to outrun the Brontosaurus. We just have to outrun Wayless.
yeah. And luckily, we gave him all our stuff. So
Wow, this is fascinating.
No, I'm joking. I want Wayless to live, obviously.
I don't
That's a
know.
Peter
I'll say
Jackson
I'll
movie
say
we're
it
in.
hits him. So I roll again. Okay. Wayless gets hit by a tree falling that crashes into his path. He must make a reflex save to negate. He rolls a natural 1 for a 4. He fails his reflex save. Wayless takes 12 points of damage.
ouch.
I'm seeing. Oh, I see.
Your boy Friday and interpreter and porter is nearly dead. And in addition, Mr. Hiroji gets hit by a shower of splinters in which the fragments of the wood came flying down and actually would have hit you, but since you were hiding, they actually hit your hiding space and they go all around you and you don't take any damage because you were hiding.
Nice. Even if he wasn't hiding very well, like burying his face.
So, yeah, you would have been hit by the shower of splinters after the tree fell down, but you were under cover, and although you did not make any progress in trying to run away, you did not get hit by the splinters.
Excellent, because I'm an expert in
So
stealth.
you are cowardly, and everyone else is running away, and you're staying behind. Good job.
Yeah. Well, the danger's past, at least. That's good news, right?
Yep, the danger passed right by me.
Yeah.
No.
We're safe now. Oh, what?
You're still going. You basically have to succeed a certain number of times for you to get out of this.
Can you tell us, or does that vary?
It varies. Depends how many of you die.
Yeah, we're definitely in a Peter Jackson
Do I,
movie.
do I have to use a skill other than stealth to make progress? Or
Yeah, you have to use survival, athletics, intimidate. Actually, yeah, or acrobatics.
Oh, so hiding actually doesn't do any good at all.
It does good for you. But if you have nothing else to do and you can't make the other ones, then you should probably hide.
oh, because it's like a group success thing, I guess.
Well, you can either individually try to run away or you can individually hide, wait for them to go by, and yeah, it's sort of like you're running, hiding, but you're in the back.
All right. Well, I think we all take our turn, or does Cheddar have to do something? Or Wayless?
Cheddar doesn't go. Just everyone else goes.
Wayless failed.
Wayless failed. He took damage. He's half dead.
Oh,
The tree
Well-
fell on him.
He's half stamina dead.
No, he has no stamina. He
Oh.
dies. He dies.
Shit.
He's an NPC. And he runs out of hit points, he's dead.
now is he off by himself?
You guys are all off by yourself.
We're all it's all chaos.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Where did
Look
that
at the
shot come
picture
from?
and
Hold on.
handouts. That is literally what's happening to you guys.
Oh, really? There's a picture in handouts?
See
Oh,
that
nice.
picture?
That's a
you
great
guys.
picture.
That's you running, and that's them chasing you. Look how big they are.
That's
No.
great. All right. Well, I'm
You see
ready
the trees
to.
getting knocked down? It's like, you guys are like, run.
If there was somehow a way to build something with engineering to avoid the stampede, I'd be in business. But
Now, in World of Warcraft with engineering, you could build a decoy. That little jack-in-the-box bouncy thing.
That's right. You
or if
target
this
them.
is like Fortnite, I could build myself a little place to hide.
All right. So Tuttle's really the only one who's like, he's the only one really in trouble, I guess. Unless we just take another turn. Is that how this goes?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, we
now
keep
you guys, you keep going until you get away.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Well, I have the best chance of attracting attention away from him. I can bluff them to pay attention to me. I don't want to, but I can do that to save
Yeah,
Wayless.
That seems like a non-rusty thing to do.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, you
He's
should
going
roleplay
to
your
use him, and he's
character
going to
better.
use him as a footrest, and he's going to make him, like, serve him and cook and clean. But he's not a murderer. He doesn't want the guy to die. And, he's a stronger guy than himself.
Yeah, evasion and pursuit is a much smaller section in the core rules than what we're doing. I like this is a lot of fun though. At least says someone who has at least a good roll to get away from stuff. What do we have to get?
I was
What's
going
the
to say
DC?
I would question the fun quotient on this, but that's just because I don't have any skills that apply.
What's the DC on our checks?
I don't think we know.
Oh,
Never tell me the odds.
Oh, actually, I made a small mistake. I'm sorry. The shower of splinters that crashed through the branches, sending sharp fragments of wood raining down, it actually hit everybody. So everyone has to give me a reflex save, except for the person who was successfully hiding.
That would be
which
me.
was
That'd be moi.
Hiroji.
reflex? Even for those who scrambled away?
Everyone.
We're all
Some of you
sort of
have to
like
get bonuses.
together.
Some of you might get bonuses.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, roll a 2
Oh,
reflex.
Walos. Oh no. Walos.
Well, he's already taken damage.
Oh, he'll
Yeah,
take
no.
more. He's going to take more.
Oh,
Let's see. I also need Cheddar, and I also need Tuttle. Walos failed with a 10. Rusty succeeded with an 18. Mo failed with a 5. Tuttle is a 20 reflex save. And now I need one for Cheddar. Cheddar failed.
Cheddar's having a bad day.
Oh no. God, he's getting his ass kicked.
Everyone who was hit by the splinters takes 6 points of damage, and those of you who made your reflex save, you only take 3 points of damage. Now you get to try to scramble away. Woolhouse is about 2 points from death. He does not have any resolve points, so when he dies, he dies. Who's up?
So one of our action choices is to do an action, right? Like I could
Yes, you could heal him. You can
I
give
could
him.
heal
Yes,
him if I wanted to.
definitely. Yes.
Okay.
do you have that healing hypo?
I've got a healing needle gun and I also have Mark 1 healing kits on me.
Well, that's you can probably is the scrambling. That's an action, right? That's not movement, right?
Activate an ability to do something. You can do whatever you want.
No,
You're
like
trying to get away.
is the scrambling count as movement or as an action?
Scrambling counts as your action.
It's sort of different. Like you can to me it sounds like
Yeah.
you can do one of those things on the skills or you can do like an ability or like a
Well, I mean, if you,
Well, this is
what
more.
I'm saying is, if somebody heals Walos and that's their action, do they get automatically hit by these dinosaurs? Because it's kind of like
No, let me give you. I'll
Okay.
give you. Okay, I'm trying to be non-mechanical, but it's obviously not working at all. I will just tell you the mechanics. Activating an ability to do something doesn't give you any successes. You have to do a certain number of successes to get away. Okay? If you distract,
Okay.
it doesn't give you any successes. It just has them attack you and do the damage to you instead of the whole party. So you can kind of sacrifice yourself so things like this only hit one person instead of 6 people. Hiding is the opposite. If you get hit by something, you get bonuses to your AC and you're not affected by most actions. Navigate. That will give you 1 success. Scramble. That will give you 1 success. Spook. That will give you 1 success. Squeeze. That will give you 1 success. So you can either perform an action, take one for the team, hide, or try to successfully get away in different
Yep,
ways.
I got it.
Got it?
All right. Yes. Does someone want to heal him?
You're
all
our
right.
healer. That's the thing.
I mean, the only thing
You've
is,
got the hypo gun.
well, it's not a hypo gun. It's a needler that if I actually shoot him, it'll probably damage. Will kill him. Like he'll get killed.
Are you
like-
serious? Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird gun. It's actually a
All right.
weapon.
Mo's got a million heals on him. Actually, how much damage is he taking? I'm only going to do it. I'm only going to do 8 points maximum. I'm going to roll a 1, of course.
He has
But-
20 hit points. He has 3 left.
Okay, so he's taken 17 points in 1 turn. He's dead.
Well, he got very unlucky. He missed a reflex save. He got
what I'm
targeted.
saying, yeah, but he's going to have to. I don't know how many of these successes we have to do, but we're not going to heal our way out of this unless.
Yeah, but we don't want him to die though.
I
Okay,
agree.
but
What that
that's
means
not in
is
our
one of us
control.
distracts it to take all the damage.
Does that
Everybody else
distract
tries
all
to
of the things onto one person?
What it does is that person gets negatives to their AC and saves, and everyone else gets bonuses.
Ah.
Yeah,
okay,
because
that
we're
was
not
actually
going to heal our way out of this. I mean,
No, it's not a matter of healing our way out of this. It's a matter of we don't want him to die. If he gets targeted,
okay, Chris,
then
when
he'll
I
die.
say, all right, we're not going to heal our way out of, if he's taken 17 when he misses, what are we going to do? You know, we're going to add 3 points,
Okay,
4
John,
points
give
to
your
his
action
life.
word. Great. Give your action word. You've shot down his idea. What's your action plan?
Well, no, I'm just talking about our options.
Right. You've shot down somebody else's. What's your option?
There's nothing we can do. There's no options here that's
You
going to
can
save him.
all give him.
We could all heal him. Like,
Oh, we could all actually separately heal him.
yeah, we
Yes,
all
if
have an
you
action. We all have a
all
personal
right,
action.
if you all
Oh,
wanted
okay.
to spend your turn giving him multiple healing potions, you can.
Oh, okay. If that's an option, I didn't know that was an option.
You won't make any successes, and you won't make any distance, but you'll have him live. So
The main thing is we could take
Okay.
hits. We could take a lot of hits. That would be like nothing if we took that damage. It wouldn't even make our stamina to 0. He cannot. He doesn't have that feature. He's an NPC, so he is so close to death. So we want to try and get him healed so that if he is unlucky enough to get targeted again, maybe he lives.
Okay, let's divvy this up as an action plan. Who thinks they can get a success on this turn round?
Me, I have the best skills. My
Great.
skills are all the highest. of everyone.
You try to get a success. I'm going to bluff to attract its attention on me. That gives a defense to everybody else. Everybody else heal him. That means Dr. Tuttle and Mo try to heal.
Well, what's the
Willis.
distract roll? What category is that?
Bluff?
Bluff
It's
or
bluff.
intimidate,
I'll
either
make
one.
bluff. It's my best. Roll.
Oh, I can do an intimidate. I get a +6.
only
for
one
intimidate.
person
I have
can
a plus
distract
10
at a
intimidate.
time.
Mo
Oh,
is going to
All right.
heal.
Yeah, your skills are not as good as any of our skills at all. Not in no category, except for maybe athletic.
all right.
Does that work?
Yeah, that worked.
Yeah.
All right.
It sucks that we have to waste these healing kits, but
Well,
be it.
that's
we don't
fine.
we don't want him to die.
No, we don't
got
want him to
one
die. Okay, I'm going to start by trying to bluff the critter. So I'm going to make a bluff check.
Here comes the one.
It's okay. That's not my numbers. I showed the -5 again. Hold on.
That's okay. You get a 14, which is like
Which
23.
is like 24. And by the
billion.
way,
yeah, it's like a 24.
here, add 4 to whatever that
Yeah,
is.
so you easily get their attention away from your companions, and they all look at you and go, "Huh?" And they start chasing after you.
I will do an acrobatics check to make progress.
Squeeze.
Wait a minute. Aren't we all healing Whalus?
Dr. Tuttle and Mo are healing Willis.
I succeed.
25. You
I'm guessing.
easily succeed and make progress.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna apply a healing thing.
You pull out a potion, you run up to Wayless, you're like, "Drink this." And he's like, has a tree on him, covered in splinters, but you heal 6. Thank you, Mo. Anyone else?
I guess it's my turn. So can he drink? Can he drink 2 potions in a turn?
Yeah, because it's a minute. The turn is a minute.
Oh,
so
okay. In that case,
this is
I will
more than
also
fine.
give him a potion.
The minute assumes you run back to him, you take it out, you apply it, you help him up, so you're fine.
All right, then I'll also give him a potion.
Does
Okay.
he get an action as well, or is he gonna spend
No.
it on evading?
He actually doesn't have any of these. He actually can't do. He has none of these traits.
In this encounter, he is a brick.
So 1d6,
One.
1d8. I'm at.
Yeah,
All right,
1d8. Yeah.
4 points.
All right.
He
Excellent.
looks much better. He's only mostly dead. Good job, guys.
He's the third
you
dead.
they go crazy once again. Falling tree.
Again?
But focused on me, I think is the idea.
Well, not quite. That's not how it
We
works.
get pluses.
There's some yes. Hold on.
Timber.
It gives everyone huge pluses. It's gonna go after. It goes after Tuttle, but you get a reflex save, but it's a big plus to your reflex save.
You can do a tunnel. Dodge that tree. It's
Look out
coming
for
right for you.
It wasn't done on purpose. It was like as they were running towards Rusty, they accidentally knocked over a tree. And I'll take your first one of a 23. You easily avoid all the damage and dodge that tree. Good job.
Watch out for the splinters.
That's it. So, okay, you're fine. So you guys all go. You got scot-free from that one.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Roji, what's your plus to making progress?
Plus 10.
Plus 10. Okay. You guys want to heal him again?
No, I think we run now. Fuck it.
Well,
Okay.
we try to advance, which means we try to
All right.
Get effective things. Yeah.
Mo's going to scramble by doing an athletics.
Athletics, go.
Makes sense. Actually, Jason, would you mind applying another heal to him this time?
29.
Easily make it. You are like, woohoo, fun once again.
That's good.
In fact, the whole time you're like, this is fun. Oh, let me go heal
Yeah,
this
I
guy.
know.
Ooh, this is fun again.
I get plus 11 for my checks, so this is kind of fun.
I will again try to intimidate at plus 10.
Oh, you should try to make progress. Can you?
Intimidate makes progress.
Oh, does it make progress? Oh,
Yeah, spooking.
So it's 22.
You easily
Yeah.
actually not so
God
easily.
damn it.
You make it and you scare one of them off. So good job. You have succeeded in scaring one of them off.
I will
Two of them now.
squeeze with my acrobatic.
You squeeze through two large obstacles. You barely make it, but you succeed.
Comes on my ninja.
And finally, Mr. Tuttle, what do you do?
Squeeze is acrobatics.
Yes.
I have a +3. I'm not great at it, but
There's no negatives if you fail. You
I'm
just
going to
don't
try to make progress as well, and I'm going to try to do a squeeze.
You're a tiny little rat person.
Take the best roll because I sense.
That's not the best roll.
A 7 is not the best roll. You I'm gonna squeeze, I'm not gonna squeeze. And you hear them in the distance. That's a bad one. Several of the rucks converge on one PC. That
Rook.
is Rusty.
Oh no, Rusty!
Look out for that tree. Rusty of the jungle, friends to you and me. Look out for that tree.
Exactly. I see lots of issues. I see a lot of rolls here.
Hold on.
He did too good a job of getting him to come to him.
Attracting their attention.
Yep.
Yes. Well,
Oh man, there's a lot going on. Okay, first up, they bellow. They trumpet loudly. And that hits Rusty and Tuttle. Both of you give me fortitude saves.
oh yes,
great.
my
Great.
best save.
Tuttle makes a 16. You are sort of fine.
Well, it's a roll of a 14. Let's modify from there.
You're fine. You both succeed, so you only take 3 points of sonic damage. And the other one is a body check. The Yarok runs alongside Rusty and buffets him with his body. Let's see see if it hits.
Oh,
It's
he wants to give me a hug.
a roll to hit. That's 18 plus 13. So I'd say that's
31
a
hit, 'Cause
31.
I have a really good armor class.
That might hit you just a little. And you take...
A boot to the head.
Oh, it's not too bad. You take 2d6, 5 plus 6 more. You take 11 points of damage.
What kind of dinosaurs are these that only do 6 damage?
Well, it was
Well, they're not
2d6.
attacking him. They're just they checked into him.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was him bumping into me.
That was 2d6 plus 6 bumping. That's a bump. It's not even an attack.
Bumping you against the wall.
You're still doing pretty well. I don't even think it's gone to your hit points yet. And they're not hitting Wayless. You guys are up.
Progression? Try to do things that give us
Yes.
points towards victory, right?
Actually, can Wayless just take a potion for his action?
He's not taking actions. He doesn't has negative. He can't do really anything. I'm not making him. He's
No,
not
but
a
he can
PC.
take potions, though.
Do we even have any on him, though?
We
No.
never gave him a potion.
No, you never
That
gave
was-
him any. You gave him all to
Not potions,
Cheddar.
by the way.
Well, there's serums.
It's the equivalent of he would have to take it from you, which means you would lose it.
All right. Fuck that. All right.
All right,
Are we
acrobatic
doing
check.
Yep.
Hiroji tries to squeeze. He fails. He
Well,
trips.
18 is a fail.
And
All
he
right.
gets stuck in the log. Next.
Oh, we call that the lure back home. Okay,
I want to
athletics
scare
checks.
one of them. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no.
Wait.
No.
It's plus 11. Wait, why is it at 16? I have plus 11.
Probably armor check penalty. I know, mine are off by 1 also.
Armor check is a -1. You get a 16 to try to scramble. You fail. You do not scramble.
I should have
away.
a 17.
You still fail.
Okay.
Yep, I'm going to intimidate in a second when we're all done. I'm rolling d20. I have a plus 10 to my intimidate.
So 25, you easily intimidate it, scare it off, it runs into the bushes, and you succeed.
I've defeated 3 of them. That's all I'm saying.
All right,
I don't know about the rest of you.
Watch me in
Tuttle
action as I do
Tuttle.
it.
You already failed. Both of you guys failed. Tuttle's up.
Yep, and I'll try to squeeze, so that's acrobatics.
So you get a 12. Is that correct? You did not manage to squeeze.
Wow. This was not a good turn for us.
No, you only person who was successful was Rusty. And
Well,
you failed horribly.
Rusty's always successful as far as we know.
Well, once again, 5 is the worst one. That's gang up. That's where I roll 2 items and do both of those to everybody. It's 2 attacks instead of 1. So I've rolled that for the 3rd time. And now they will go. Let's see what they do. Okay. First one, shower of splinters. They crash through the branches, sending sharp fragments of wood raining down. Everybody give me a reflex save. Tuttle fails. The 13 Wolf
It's more than
fails
that,
with
but I rolled a 6.
6. Mo succeeds with the 22. Rusty fails with not even close, a 6. Hiroji succeeds with the 17. And Cheddar.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. I forgot to reflex save for Cheddar.
Cheddar gets a 19 and avoids some of the splinters. So those of you hit by the splinters take 7 points of damage, and that was Woolholz, Tuttle, and Rusty, and Mo. Actually, Mo also failed. You should take.
No, I succeeded.
Oh yeah, Mo succeeded.
Yeah, I
Mo
rolled a 19.
succeeded, Hiroji succeeded, and Rusty succeeded.
That's
So you
right.
only take 3 points of damage.
Waylo 60.
Actually, I failed.
Yeah, Wayless totally failed. And now, Mr. Hiroji gets body slammed by one of these beasts.
Ah,
Once again, the body check. Well, I can roll a 1 and miss. Let's see. 15 plus 13.
That's not a miss.
It's not a miss.
Just roll for damage.
18 points of damage as I rolled double 6s.
Wow, he takes full damage.
You're in the red. You guys might want to get out of here. You're up.
we're trying.
Yeah. God. Yeah, we should rename this to roll for damage.
Roll for failure.
Roll for failure.
Wolf is in the red. Rusty's a little in the red. Hiroji's a little in the red. Cheddar's
yeah.
half dead. These things are even attacking you. They're just running by you and they're doing damage.
So
Well,
Mo failed his scramble.
Oh, I didn't see your roll.
Well, I mean, he's going through all the mishaps.
Oh, you mean in previous turns? Okay.
We have a new round.
There's a new round, so all you
Oh, we're
guys-
doing a new round?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They start
Right.
the rounds. They always start the rounds. So what do you guys do?
All right. Mo is going to scramble. Rolls a 1. Okay.
Acrobatics.
You're not doing well.
He scrambles right at them.
Oh, there's my one.
All the ones. All right, there we go.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Okay, well,
Oh,
got a
one, but also not good enough.
trifecta, hat trick. Of
All right,
failure.
I'm going to-
Our characters don't want to live. They just don't want to live.
I will attempt to intimidate. I have a 27.
You
That's number
easily
4.
intimidate.
Number
and
4 is
scare
running
them
away.
off.
Viva, it's Rasta.
Yeah, Rusty.
you see off in the distance as you continuously keep running and failing and running and failing, you see a gorge coming up, but it's nowhere near you yet. Falling tree. Dun dun dun.
The gorge is we'll fall in there, right? And die.
Well, we're gonna find out.
There's only one way to find out. You jump right in.
Hiroji, falling tree.
What does that mean?
Reflex save.
All right, that's my best save. So
There's no way you'll miss this.
guaranteed failure.
There's no way. It's your best reflex.
Oh, there we go. Ding, 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 ding.
A 5. He rolls a 5 for his best reflex, for his best save.
All right. Well, it hits you.
Roll
A
for
tree-
damage.
A tree does a lot of damage.
Don't wait up for me.
13 points of damage.
Oh
on
my
without me.
goodness!
On
Oh,
without
man.
me.
Yeah, the
Now
tree
it's time
literally
to take one
falls
of those
on
big,
you.
big
And,
serums.
yeah, you're almost dead. The rest of you get shook by the sound of it reverberating through the ground, and you're all going to take a slight negative to some of your checks this phase as the tree, like, sort of shakes you all up.
Oh no, a slight negative. We
Yeah.
might fail. We might fail our checks next round.
Well, you're all up. What do you do?
Why are we
Wait,
shaking
wait,
by
wait,
seeing
wait.
Hiroji hurt? None of
Hold
us are bothered by it. I mean,
Is this hit point damage or stamina damage?
Oh, you have hit point damage now.
Yeah,
Oh.
that your stamina's completely gone.
You have 6 hit points left.
Okay, but actually, I should have 1 less damage, I think, because my force field regenerates every round for +1.
You have to turn that on.
Oh,
And
right.
it takes
Is that an action to turn on?
Yeah, and it takes a lot
Oh,
of charges and it's per
man.
minute, so that's not really going to work in this case.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Totally, yep.
The battery would have been dead by now.
Yeah, no, I forgot you had to turn it on.
I'm thinking
Well, I'm healing myself, definitely. I don't know.
just the intimidate, Rusty's intimidate. That gives everybody else a bonus. Such
Intimidate gives you a success. Distract gives everyone a bonus, but no successes.
Oh, I see.
we need a certain number of successes to win the
Okay,
encounter.
so
We
I'm
do
going
not
to
know how
do-
many successes.
All
We
I
have
can
8
do
successes right now.
Is
Well, you and I both failed, so other people have to
Yeah.
roll.
I'm a
Roji
scrambling.
can hide, and you won't get affected by things.
Yeah, but even that, if I roll a 1, it don't matter. Actually, it might matter. Well, I don't know. No, you have to get like a 20, I think. DC 20, it seems like.
So who are we waiting on?
It's a new round.
You
We're
guys,
starting
it's a new
again.
round. You guys
Oh,
start.
we're
You
doing
guys
a new
decide
round?
what you
Okay.
wanna do.
Yeah.
Well, Mo's gonna scramble again. He's a scrambling lizard.
But you have a +10 to it, so sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, God,
Fail.
16.
I roll a
Scrambled but
5 or 16.
Tuttle's going to create a computer simulation that distracts these guys, so he can use his computer score instead of his physical abilities.
That'd be awesome.
I figure I'd try. No, I'll try the squeeze. I'll try the squeeze again. Ugh.
You need rolling a 17.
That won't do it.
A
Okay,
2.
rolls a 2. This.
Well, once again, you can't
I'm
seem to
gonna-
figure out how to squeeze into anything.
I'm going to try and intimidate once again.
Rusty
Alright.
is the only one who's going to save our bacon. Oh, not this time.
And I rolled a 3. So that's a 13 modified and my first failure. Oh, well. You had to
Okay.
speak up, didn't you, Chris?
do
You
not
had to say that out loud.
succeed in spooking them.
Well, and Hiroji wants to take that.
I'm going to use a
serum.
Mark 1 healing serum. It's 1d8,
Dude,
right?
No, dude, you want a Mark 2. These things will kill you.
1d8.
I don't think I have a Mark 2 on me.
I'm sure that I remember you buying one. You do have a Mark 2. In fact, I think you have more than one.
I do. Say again?
You do not.
Right. Okay, so it's only 1d8, right?
That is correct.
That's something. I'll take a 7.
Yeah, healing 7's pretty good.
That's good.
I think that's the most you've ever done.
Yes.
New round.
Uh,
Ooh, ooh.
no, oh, new round, right, for them to go. Yeah.
Whether due to terrain or following the lead of one of the senior animals, the Yaruks begin veering in an unexpected direction, which requires you all to change tactics. You all get a... The good news is none of you actually get any damage at all, but if any of you try to use the same action that you used last time, you get a -4, because
Wow.
Cool. I like that.
All right.
you have to change your tactics.
It's perfect timing because I didn't use acrobatics last time, so I can use it now.
What if we failed miserably? Our actions aren't even recognizable.
Nope. If you do the same
Okay.
action, you can do it. You just get a -4.
That's actually still better than.
I don't know what the success roll is exactly, but roughly it looks like if I had a -4, there is no chance I would make it except on a 20.
Can you take a?
No, I'm going to hide this turn, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
So for me, that's stealth.
Well, I'm gonna intimidate. It's a +6, so I'm gonna try
Okay.
to
Spook.
spook them. That advances us, correct?
That is correct.
Very nice.
Hey, 18 gets me a 24.
You just are sick of this. You're sick of running. You're sick of failing. Turn around and give that beast a piece of your mind, and it
Get outta here,
spooks him.
beast.
It spooks him.
Yeah. I stomp on the ground and it scares him away.
Who's next?
Okay, here's my attempt to hide. I can't even hide anymore.
Rolls
You,
a
you
4.
are a 4, 9. You don't know. You can't find anywhere to hide. You're like on flat ground. In fact, there's nothing left to hide because all the trees have been knocked over by the beasts. Who's next?
I hide behind Waylos then. I don't know.
Waylos. Poor Waylos. He's hanging on with a
Poor
thread.
Hiroshi.
Well, yeah, poor Hiroji, indeed.
Hiroji.
I'm
You
going to
have
try an acrobatics check.
no
I'm
resolve
going
points.
to
You'll be
do
fine.
that thing.
Squeeze.
All right, so acrobatics, I'm at a +8. And I have a
Rolls.
modified 11, so I rolled
11.
3.
You do
Rusty,
not
watch
successfully
me do it.
squeeze.
Wow.
Okay, I'm
Hiroji
watching.
rolls a 3.
I'm watching.
These
What's
rolls
going
are
to happen?
so bad.
4, 3, and 3.
I
That's what
trip
we
and
rolled
fall
this
on
round.
my face.
I mean, well,
Face plant.
rolled
Again,
19. That was
new
nice.
round. You guys are going to be getting tired. These things are just stampeding over
Yeah,
and
I'm
over
getting
and over
I'm
again.
running to the gorge. I'm gonna hang off the edge.
Body check. Well, this one goes after Cheddar.
Cheddar.
9 plus 13 hits him. Oh, wow. I rolled a 2 and a 1. I only do 9 points of damage. Shame that wasn't on a PC.
Oh, Cheddar's taking a lot of damage.
Cheddar's taking a lot of damage.
We see smoke and sparks coming out.
Yeah,
Press the red
Cheddar's
button.
not
Well,
doing
Cheddar
shit.
has no stamp. I'm not even sure what the
Oh, yeah.
button would do in this situation.
Press the red button.
You could do it. Who knows? But you were pretty close to that ravine. You're getting closer and closer. You guys go.
All right, we win this round. We need one more success. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
me.
We
I'm
need
doing
one
it.
success to win.
Allow me.
Go for it.
Do it, Hiroji. He rolls a 3.
Just to check, you told me to watch you for how
Wow.
acrobatics works, right?
God, it's so like the laws of probability are being broken tonight.
And
Do
half
we-
our listeners can't hear anymore. Good
Yeah.
job.
Actually, are we allowed to switch back to our best action now?
Yes,
Or
that was
does-
only last. That was only
Okay.
last round.
So Mo is going to zig and then zag to do a scramble away. He rolls a 6 for a 17.
You
Oh,
fail.
wow.
You do
wow.
not quite make it.
wow. it. Wow.
You trip
First
at the
encounter
last
in
second.
jungle TPK. Hello.
All right, here comes a attempt to squeeze. Not the 80s alternative band.
You bought a toothbrush, some toothpaste.
That's a no.
12. Once again, you succeed. You actually, I don't think Tuttle's ever succeeded. Who's up?
All right,
Succeeded at
intimidation.
my first
Rusty.
stealth succeeded.
Oh, that's
Good
true.
time.
book learning.
Time for me to intimidate these monsters once again.
Yeah, Rusty, please do something.
26.
Oh, 20.
That was
You
the unmodified.
succeed. You
Wow.
scare them once again.
There it is.
You're almost there. Not quite. Falling tree. Another tree bites the dust. Darn, darn, darn. Another tree bites the dust. Darn, darn, darn. That's not a good roll. Darn. Hiroji gets hit. Hiroji gets hit. Hiroji, give me a reflex save.
Oh, here we go.
You do not want to miss this. 15. 15. The tree crashes. It's about to hit Hiroji, and it goes like 1 inch in front of his face. And he's like, ooh, that was close. It knocks like the matchstick out of your mouth. You're like, that was a close one. You succeed in not getting hit by a tree.
Wow.
Excellent.
You guys go.
That's good. All right. So let's put an end to this. I'm going to scramble away, and somehow that will, I don't know. Rolling an 8 for 19.
You succeed. You scramble
19.
over the
I think we've
obstacles.
decided 20 is the DC.
Well,
so-
19 says he said success on the 19.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard.
Yeah.
All right, I'm rolling my acrobatic. 19 also.
For scramble?
Yep,
Or
for
squeeze.
acrobatics.
For squeeze.
Squeeze.
You fail.
Ah, so they're different. That's annoying.
All right, I'm going to try and intimidate.
Almost, you were thrown off by it, almost blowing past.
Nice.
You.
Rusty
20
rolls a
killed.
23.
23 intimidate.
23.
You're
You
scaring the hell out of them.
successfully intimidate them.
Now, if we win right now, that will mean Rusty did 6 of these successes and won it at the end. He's going to be insufferable for months. I mean, I'm just going to
Yeah.
warn you in advance.
Yeah,
Going
that's
to be.
yeah,
Ha.
going to be. Yeah. How will we ever adjust to that?
Yeah, the difference will be amazing.
You successfully make it to the large chasm. You reach an ancient stone bridge that is crossing the river, and it flows through the jungle. You quickly hear and see the beast chasing you, and you decide to risk it. You run, all of you, over to the bridge. It easily supports your weight. However, one of the Yariks pursuing you takes a few steps on the bridge trying to chase you, and it collapses. And the poor thing falls into the river below. The ancient elven architecture destroyed. It looks like you ain't going back that way.
Oh, we got off the bridge. I thought we were on the bridge while it was on. Okay.
You do a Temple of Doom moment.
No,
20
yeah,
minutes ago, I would have had some sympathy for that Yark. now, screw them.
Exactly.
I was tying myself on.
Hey.
Do they make good eating? Can we go down there and get the carcass and barbecue it?
Oh, they're a pinata for experience is what they are. That's what they are.
Well, here's the thing. You are out of the, what is it? Out of the pan into the fire, shall we say? You look around and you are deep in the forest. And in front of you, you recognize something. Hey everyone, Steve here. What a terrible place to cut the episode. Well, you only have one person to blame. Me. That's right. You're going to have to wait till next week to see what they find. But I tell you, if you think what they just went through was bad, oh, it's going to get way, way worse. I promise you. So, I bring you part 2 of my interview with Order of the Amber Die. So, I read a whole bunch of great questions on the Discord channel about this, and unfortunately, I already talked to them. So, I didn't get to ask all these really great questions. But I got pretty friendly with them. In fact, Adam from the interview is going to PaizoCon with us. So, I'm going to be seeing a lot more of him. And I have a feeling we're going to interview him again for the show. So, if you have any more great questions you want to ask the Order, let me know. I'll make sure I ask them the next time I speak with them. Once again, if you didn't listen to last week's show, I strongly suggest you listen to last week's show and listen to the first part of the interview, where we go through what the Order of the Amber Die is, how long they've been playing, how they play, and so forth. The real Clip Notes version is that they've been playing for 30 years with the same group of people, more or less. They've gone through about 145 adventures. And when they play and get together now, they go 4 days straight with very little eating and sleeping. And they go through adventure paths and they finish them in record time. That is the Cliff Notes version of Order of the Amber Die. Anyhow, let's get to part 2 of my interview. Since you guys are all sleeping and eating, so where do you sleep? Do you just, that actually is a good question. Where do you sleep? I was just thinking about that.
So, yeah, let's see. You're sitting here in the living room. Actually, you're sitting on Eric's bed right now.
Or on the
couch is
floor,
a bed,
the
right?
papa's on.
Does anyone go home?
Everybody
and come
has,
back, or they have to stay here?
Let's see.
Sometimes they
Usually they do stay here. Like, our rule has kind of been always, or because we travel to location, they tend to be all in one place the whole way through. But let's see, recently, I want to say the last one or so, people who are very
Jody and
local,
Eric.
within 10 minutes or 5
within
minutes.
10 minutes they'll come.
Which is really only 1 or 2 guys. They'll leave. But yeah, they'll kind of crash out. We put 2 in one of the bedrooms. We have a blow-up bed. There's 2 right there.
The lair.
We have a place called the Lair. That's like kind of our prep room. And put somebody in there. We have a couple cots we'll use. Different guys, one of them, Sean, he'll sleep anywhere. So he'll step over him in the middle of the night. Kitchen floor, I think, one
Kitchen
time.
floor, yeah. If you don't play well, we'll make you sleep outside in the shed. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. Yet.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's kind of like a big sleepover, just day after day. So makes you feel young. Yeah.
So what about big blow-ups, though? I mean, we have big fights when we're just playing after 2 hours or 1 hour or 3 hours.
Yes.
There's got to be some legendary absolutely insane knockdown fights, even with the player captain, even with everyone being in the order, because you got to get loopy after like 2 or 3 days.
No physical confrontations yet. I don't think that's in the docket, but there have been some verbal wars waged for several hours.
In game and out of game.
Yeah,
I mean,
both.
in game, actually, in game, out of game it's the same thing. When you're marathoning, you are your character for days. By the time it gets to Sunday, it doesn't matter. You're thinking like Olak or Erasmus or Fea. It doesn't. You become your character. So, there are blowouts. I mean, it's really important that we hug it out fairly quickly because we're doing this for the community and we're putting this on the Paizo blog and we've got a project to think about. And I think we got more caught up in those things before there was so much attention on it all. And when we were younger, I think too, we were just
we know how to keep ourselves in check now. I mean, we're a little more grown up, I think, at least for most of us.
Yeah, no, it's funny because we did the same thing, like, I'd say like 20, 15 years ago, even 10, we'd get into pretty big fights. And now, I mean, actually Chris, who's one of our core players and one of my best friends, he and I got into such a big fight, he quit. Like, he actually quit my game. He came back and we all worked it out, but we've had big blow-ups. Like this is one of my best friends, and he's just like, I'm quitting.
What's happened here too?
Oh, we've had that. Yeah, we've had players quit and come back. We've had to cut some players over the years. I mean, just it doesn't always. It's like a team. I mean, you have to be as a cohesive unit, and if you're not, you've got to figure out how to get back to that
or move on.
Whatever you're trying to do at the time, if it doesn't work with everybody, you have to figure out ways to get it there. So
yeah, we're much better now. I mean, we definitely know when things are going to happen, and it's funny. It's like it just doesn't happen as much. We thought, like, when we started the podcast that we'd have a lot more fights. I mean, we've had like one very minor one, and that's about it. I mean, we just it's like maybe we're old and maybe we just know each other or we just respect each other more now. It just doesn't happen quite as often, and luckily, thank God.
Right.
Because those are intense.
yeah, they can, especially in the middle of a long session, they can be pretty, definitely.
So I asked this of everyone. So this is a fascinating question / I want to hear your answer. So here it is. You guys are sitting around, you're talking, you're rolling dice, and yet you get into these huge fights and people are screaming, yelling, and why? What is it about playing make-believe that causes such angst and drama and also makes it that you want to spend your entire weekends together playing, like all the stuff you've done to create this order of the Amber Die, and all you're doing is sitting around talking, rolling some dice, and that's it. Why do you think this is? It's kind of silly. The only reason I stay is because my wife is a non-gamer. So she sees it from the outsider's point of view.
Right.
And she's like, what is going on? Like, what? It just seems so weird to someone who's outside, who's not a gamer. She's like, well, you guys are just talking. Why does it turn into this whole thing?
And if that's what it actually was, then yes, it would be ridiculous. I agree.
Yeah.
But we all know that's not what it is.
Of course we know that.
You know what I mean? It's the story aspect. It's the camaraderie aspect. The rolling dice is just, a part of how you play. It's not why you play. Why we play is for the moments that happen. And if you play sports or if you're in a band, if you've done something where you stop for a second, you look around the room and you capture that emotion. If you can duplicate that over and over again, why wouldn't you? That's what we do.
Yeah, I think this game, having played so many and been a gamer my whole life as well, Steve, I think that this, this is just a game that has no ceiling. I've not found a ceiling yet in this game, and it keeps me coming back. It keeps me always hoping for the next adventure to reveal something that I haven't seen already or have some experience that I haven't had. And we've had just about everything happen, and then something new happens.
Yep.
And that brings us back. And that's it. So from the outside, sure, we're just in a room rolling dice and talking or arguing or whatever we happen to be doing. But we all know that, 3 days into a marathon, come Saturday night and you're staring down a bad guy with low resources and you're about to find out what you're made of.
Yep. You got 5 hit points. You got to be at work in 4 hours. You got to end the battle now. And when that die drops, man, there's something about it. You can't duplicate with anything else in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I mean, we agree. It's funny. We talk about that. It's like, we play a lot of video games, and we like a lot of video games. Some of us are still to this day very addicted to World of Warcraft, and and obviously a lot of books and TV and movie and all that. But yet, like Pathfinder, D&D, role playing, it's like we will drop everything to do this. I don't even know why. There's just something about it, and we agree. We're like, I don't know what. It's just something. It's just endlessly fun, and and especially when you're playing with your friends. I mean, even when you're playing with strangers, that's a lot of fun. But it's fascinating that just sitting around and I guess collaborative storytelling is really the big difference. And actually, that is where I think all the fights come from. Is because I have a picture in my mind, and then you have a picture in your mind, and then that's where the fights. And that's actually helped me as a GM. It's like I try to put myself and think, okay, why is this fight happening? Because you thought in your head that this should have happened, and then it doesn't, and then it messes up your story. So hence, that's why you get so angry, because you're like, no, that story, that your story is not right. My story is right. And at least in my experience, that's helped me bring the fights back to earth, saying, okay, let's calm down. Let's find a compromise. So everyone's stories can continue working in their head. The narratives continue to work without, because you don't want a narrative to go in the wrong direction, especially for your character.
Clashing imagination.
Right. Actually, yeah, I completely agree. I think that a lot of our fights, especially before the advent of the grid, before we started playing where everybody could see their miniature on the field, this is probably somewhere in early 3.5. I mean, we were definitely arguing about, no, you told me I was only one move away from this, and then I did it and I died, and then all of a sudden, once you have everyone staring at the same battle mat and we all can see where our characters are, and it's on you if you make a mistake at that point, and every player is accountable for themselves. It's not up to the GM. It's not his fault or her fault that they didn't tell you something incorrect and they're trying to go back on what they said, or you didn't miscommunicate. Now it's right in front of you, and I think that's where Pathfinder did an exceptional job for these past several years. Here, we've had very few arguments about what is taking place on the battlefield, and we're very grid heavy. We have to be for the projects, and so now I think the majority of our fights. I'm trying to think of. It was a pretty good one recently, but it's about party decisions, I think.
Well,
and,
that always that's an instant argument. If people
Yeah.
can't agree what steps to take next, I mean that usually happens. But the only other ones I can think of are just holding players accountable for their ability to perform. You know what I mean? If somebody makes an action that leads to the death of another character and it's a mistake that could have been avoidable, tempers flare at that point. You know what I mean? You got my character killed. Why did you 5-foot step there? You clearly saw two guys coming at me. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, which is normal, I think. No one wants a character to die because their friend made a mistake, but you got to call people out on it. And that's the only other reason I think of when arguments happen.
So speaking of character death, how do you handle it? Like, I mean, it's going to happen. It sounds like you've had a lot. So, like, what do you do? Because you're playing a marathon. You have people flying all over the country. Imagine they're like, like level 9. So it's like, oh, you can't just start a new character. Like, what do you do? How do you handle it? I actually have some, I handle it a little differently. I'll tell you after you answer, but I'm curious to hear from one GM to another. How do you handle your character death?
First of all, it depends on if it's a project or not.
Okay.
So I guess we'll focus on the ones that we play for Paizo. So if we're doing that, like let's say it's Azlant right now, we'll go with that. So if a character dies, then we, if possible, replace them in a way that's dictated by the author or the developer. So it might say in the introduction, if there's a character death, you can use one of the colonists. It can take the role of one of the dead players.
And what level do they start?
A lot of times they start at whatever level they were at in the book, and that's it. We've never been afraid to say, if you die, that's it. You come in with a new character. In fact, the players have helped with this a lot because they don't like someone being able to just come in. If your character died, or you just joined the group and we've been playing for 2 years, they don't like it when someone comes in and they're just 7th level also, and they just all of a sudden expect a full cut of every treasure haul, and there's kind of this like seniority, or you have to build respect or rapport with everybody.
Just like anyone coming in
they
any
have
group.
sort of established this even more than me. I definitely agree with it, and I just kind of like it because it's just feels right to have someone have to build up time with the group before they just are immediately treated like, oh hey, you joined us in the tavern 5 minutes ago, but now that we killed this dragon, let's just cut you in on the treasure equally. So yeah, they'll come in with a new player first level, and they'll have to work their way up. Or if it's an NPC and we already have the stats, then they get that. So there's been plenty of times where they just go right across. If they were 6th level and we happen to have a 6th level NPC, they immediately just take over that. But yeah, character death is not something that we ever shy away from. And I think that one of the things about our group that makes it a little bit different is that when you're playing it, under the lights per se, in front of the whole community, there is a significant amount of pressure on the players to perform. And what Eric's talking about, where the players, some of their arguments are with each other, is if the player makes a mistake in the grid, everyone's going to see that. Everyone's going to hear about this. We'll go to a convention and someone's going to say, "Oh, you were the guy whose character died twice. That was really funny," or something like that. And it's like, and you have to own that. And so, could you have prevented that with 10 more minutes of reading over the combat section before the marathon started? Maybe. And if a lot of times he'll give them things that they have to study or practice, especially underwater combat for this most recent campaign.
Yep.
So he was.
I do assign homework,
and he gives them homework.
He's a teacher, but I pitch in too.
So,
Really?
Oh yeah,
it's your
You give
responsibility.
everyone homework. Okay, I want you to all. You give them a quiz on underwater combat after. And,
no, there's a player email before every module we play.
I'm
That's
sure.
several pages
well,
with
we
topics
just
to discuss.
you guys haven't listened to the podcast, but we just did a podcast where we were doing combat in 0G
That sounds awesome.
in darkness.
Oh, let me add it. Let me add it.
So
I love it already.
You talk about complex. And so 0G has its own things like, okay, wait, if you have momentum, you continue going in that direction, and how do you stop? And then what you can see and what the characters can see, and I think we did pretty well, actually. I think we did a very good job with it. But we learned it as we went along, and yeah, I mean, there was some times, same thing, like they would go off into the darkness because you can only see like 20 feet around you, and then there was a monster. And the PCs don't complain. They're like, okay, you're getting attacked. They're like, okay. I mean, it's like, that's the way it is. That's the rules. So, luckily, no one totally died in our campaign. They sort of died. I'll talk about that in a second. But if it's not a Amber Die campaign, or if it's not an official adventure path, then how do you handle character death? Because I think in Emerald Spire, when I remember you read, if they died, they died, and then you brought them back as level 1.
Yep.
Yeah, we're really hardcore about it. And if it's rare that you would ever take over an NPC. There's no real reason to. You'd want to make your own PC. Again, that's typically how they like to do it. And then the rule is always you just come in at level 1. If we're level 13 and you die and we can't bring you back, which is still pretty rare these days.
Pretty rare, yeah.
Usually there's a way to get you. But let's say you are turned to ash or something, and you're whisked off to another plane or something like that. We can never get you back. That's it. New character, level 1. And it's amazing how many characters. This method is controversial, and we've had to defend it several times, but we can also say with certainty how many characters we've seen go from level 1 to eventually be among the top players in the party as things occurred in the course of a campaign. And you just never know what a campaign's going to hold by the time we're all 20th level. And the way the XP charts are built, you will catch the party. Right. And eventually you may even, we had a campaign that had this system. All of our campaigns have different systems, but this one was called the senior partner system. And it was that 3 of the highest level characters were the senior partners, and they would determine who got what treasure. And it was definitely not the most well-liked of the different systems we've seen over the years, but it was interesting to see that players could become a partner or a senior partner if they just stuck it out long enough. And we had characters that came in that were killed off, and they made it all the way up there. It was amazing. And so just from that point on proved why we're going to stick with it. So
yeah, I mean, we do it a couple of ways. I mean, one way we've done it is they come back as level 1. We've tried that in the past, and you're right, they do catch up. The only thing I have an issue with that is that they'll often just be way in the background during a fight. It's like, okay, you guys take care of the monsters. I'm going to be sitting back here just earning experience, doing nothing. So that one works out. They can't really contribute to the party for a while. The other way we've done it is that they will come back usually as an NPC. But what we'll usually do is have them one level lower than the main characters. So if everyone's level 8, we'll usually have them come as level 7. And usually have them either take the distribution of the wealth, like you said, is sometimes tricky. So you could take their wealth, and it's like, no, you have to take that and then use that on the new character. Otherwise, they can just give themselves, I'll get a +3 sword and this, and they can just get the best of everything.
Like, we're fighting mind flayers. Let's take Aberration
Exactly.
Bane sword,
Right? Exactly.
Just because he had it, and write some sort of backstory to support it. Don't
the
let
one
him do
I've
that.
been doing more frequently that actually I've been finding really useful is that if they're going to die and they really die, then we just kill them off. But actually what we've been doing is sort of either mutating them or horribly scarring them or changing them in a way that is painful.
Sounds fun.
So, yeah, that's great. They're still alive, but they know that bad things happen to them. And it could be anything from permanent stat loss to a permanent change in their character to like something aging or a way they behave now. In our current campaign, and this had nothing to do with us, the way the rules were written, because it is Starfinder and it was a lot of these adventure paths, it was written before, the adventure path and bouncing was written before the rules were done. Right. So the diseases in the adventure path are really bad. And this guy got this disease, and mathematically it was almost possible for him not to die from it.
Oh my.
So instead, we just had him turn undead. So now he's well, because that's
Sounds
a
like Quinn.
playable race. That's playable in Starfinder. Right. So we're like, okay, you're kind of undead now, and there's going to be repercussions to that. And the PC who's playing is fantastic. He's like, well, do I look human? I'm like, oh, you look human. He's like, okay, that's what matters. As long as I look human. And it's like, but you're not human. He's like, oh, I know I'm not human. And there's going to be issues. It's like, oh, I know there's issues, but we'll just pretend that those don't exist. Mm-hmm. And as the campaign continues, there's going to be more issues with it. And he's totally cool with it. And that's something else. I always have to get the PC's input because I don't want to force them into a story that they don't want to do. But we've done this quite a bit recently. And it could be things like, their soul gets captured by a demon, and then like, okay, you came back, but you're cursed forever, and here's the things you have to do to undo it, and that's like so it sort of gives you another side story and adds depth to the character and a flaw, like a permanent flaw. Mm-hmm. And so they're still in the game, but they've been changed. Like he did not think when he started this campaign that he was going to be human, throughout the whole thing. Very quickly, he's now undead and things are happening to him and he has to adapt because I'm the one who's changing him. So he's changing his character and he likes it, I think, from a role-playing point of view because now he gets to explore and change his characters in ways he didn't expect. So at least that's something I've been doing a lot and I find it really useful.
It's just consequences.
I like that idea of having
dying.
Permanent consequences.
Yeah, I like that.
I've noticed that in our group, I've been impressed with the players they're kind of expected. They expect one another to embrace exactly what you're talking about there with consequences. And what I mean by that is that no matter what happens in the story, you're expected to own it. And you would never ask the group in the order to, oh, can I make a new guy? I don't like, can I make a new character? I don't like what happened to my character. You guys mind if I roll up a new one? Or let me give this example. We were in against the Giants and one of our players was wearing a cloak that if you wear it for 8 hours turns you into a hellhound, and there was no save. That's just what happened. It was Gygax, and that's how it went. And his character, I want to say, was 17th level at the time, and that was it. And he was expected to continue on as a hellhound, and you would never ask the group. And we have people that want to join. You're never going to give up your slot at the table. You're never going to, like that's it. I'm going to be a hellhound now. And so it's amazing what the pressure they're going to put on each other to just own whatever happens. And I'll give another one. There was a barbarian. Was like the iconic was Amiri, but one of the players was playing this character, and she ended up being aged very early on in her career by a trap that Eric Mona had in the end of his level 4. It was Sanctum of a Lost Age in Thornkeep. And it was like a D20. You age in years, a D20 each time this effect happened. It was brutal. And so before you knew it, she was 54 years old, -3 strength, dex, and con for a barbarian.
It's murder.
And her whole career just changed immediately. And she was only, 6th level maybe?
6th, 7th.
So here he was staring down the rest of his career as barbarian and just owned it. That's it. My character story is that I'm 54. And, you ask him,
swing a big one.
Yeah, but that's something I think this is like where your age and my age are coming into play because that makes much more interesting characters. And I've learned over the years, like having, a planned character is so boring. It's boring to have your character go from, okay, I'm going to have it go from level 1 to level 20, and it's going to do exactly this. And then if you do exactly that, it sounds like it's going to be fun, but it's not. And it's like, you got to trust me, it's not fun. But if you have weird things happen to your character, that is way more memorable. You're still telling stories about it. I'm sure the player knows all about it, and they probably talk about it. And to become a hellhound, cool. That sounds great to me. I mean, obviously it messes. You have to embrace it, but that's a way more fun than just having a character that's just, okay, I'm another level stronger. It's like, who cares? I mean, I told you the story when we were playing Iron Gods. Jason had a character that would drink Numerian fluid every level, and one level you roll a 1d100, and he rolled a 2, and a 1 is death, and you like disintegrate to dust. A 2, and you lose one of your senses. He lost the sense of taste forever. But then the next time he rolled 100, and then rolled a subtable of a 2, and became a mutant. And he was a warrior who got a +6 strength, a +6 to his con, who had a +1 magic chainsaw, who was suddenly insane. I mean, and also he kept drinking this Numerian fluid. He ended up growing like plates of armor on his skin, and he ended up like stinking, and like he just every level something randomly cool would happen to his character, and we still talk about it to this day. In fact, he started out as Worf, and then by the end we turned him into Bane. So, it's like you kept changing his character, and he loved it. And, that's a memorable character. And the thing is, it was the player choice. That's the subtle difference, I think, now versus Gygaxian. Gygaxian is the characters don't get choice, but modern is the characters get the choice. Right. Like, he didn't have to drink the Numerian fluid. Nope. He wanted to. Well, he got cool, and bad things happened to him. And that's something I like to do, is give my characters lots of like roulette table style loots of wonder, and things that can good and bad happen. But you get to choose. Here's the Pandora's box. You open it. I'm just going to tell you there's some pretty good things in there, some pretty bad things. But you want to do it. And those player characters, they can't resist, can they?
No, they never. I mean, in the case of the Hellhound Cloak, it was just. I was feeding him little abilities, kind of like every hour.
Or you
or
breathe
something
fire.
Like
That's
you
cool.
breathe. Oh wow!
You can smell things like you have scent. Like that's interesting. That's a useful ability for a rogue to have scent.
And the way I see it is, it was the character's choice. They did have control in that it was the character's choice to wear the cloak as long as they did. They knew they were in a first edition adventure, and consequences would be severe for potential actions.
Didn't seem cursed at the time.
Didn't seem cursed at the time, and I mean, there was also, I think, Temple of Elemental Evil, where we had a character reach into a box. We were in this desperate fight against some salamanders, jumps in these coals, digs through it in the coals, and I don't know what he was just kind of, maybe this is even metagaming, I don't know, but dug through and sure enough found this box in the coals, flips it open, there's a frost brand in there, reaches in to get it, and it cuts off his hand. There was a trap that severs your hand. Wow. It's like, oh, I'm a fighter without a hand. I mean, that's it. That's, it manages to survive the battle and is like, I don't know if I want to play this guy anymore.
It's Game of Thrones.
But there you go, right? Exactly. Actually, that's right. Right. And there you go. And so I was like, no, embrace this. You're a fighter without a hand. Let's go on a quest. Let's play an adventure. Let me look through what I have. I looked through a whole bunch of published adventures, and I found one where you acquire a block of mithril. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we played this published adventure, and at the end we use this block of mithril to craft a hand, and stuff like that. So we ended up turning it into this really.
Actually, that guy who lost the scent, there was this contest in this like very barbarian type town where you would have to drink from Old Woody. And it was like this nasty, disgusting brew that they would have contests to see how many times you could take a swig from it before. No, it was made up for this adventure. And how many times you can drink it before you would like pass out. But he's like, well, I have no sense of taste. I lost my, sense of taste. I'm like, that's true. So suddenly he's like drinking Old Woody. He's finishing it off. They give him the bottle. There's like a big celebration. So it's like, hey, look, you took a detriment and made it into like, something great. And we still talk about Old Woody to this day, So the same thing. It's like, you got to, I think, give the player characters a way to embrace the weirdness. Like give them, like you said, like the mithril, so you can give them a cool hand. Because if you just punish them, they're not going to play with you, and then you're a bad GM. So Eric, actually, with you, what's your favorite character that you've had?
Oh my God, there's so many.
That's a lot.
Well, I asked Adam his favorite module, so I got to ask the player character.
Well, I guess I have to say the character I played in the Emerald Spire. I played a Rift Warden, prestige class. I built them from to be that prestige class from the beginning, and it was based on a guess. I'm like, all right, the other players are playing fighters. What am I going to do? I'm going to play some sort of wizard, because we need one, and I'm going to develop him in a way to shut down all the bad guys so the fighters can do what they best and fight. So dispelling this and summoning that. So I decided to handle all these things, and towards the end of the campaign, we ran into a lich, Nerathamon, and I had this counterspelling mage, and I'm like, okay, let's go toe to toe with this lich. So the combat opens with a fireball, decimating us almost. We can't do another one of them. So I get to go initiative. I already do my action for counterspell. And for the next 4 rounds, I roll nothing under a 12, and I counterspell his 4 next spells from rounds 1 through 4. That allows the paladin to finally get through the mess of creatures in the front, fly up there with activating smite, critically hits him, double the smite, and pretty much the battle was over shortly after that. But I actually counterspelled a lich for real 4 times in a row.
Completely shut the lich down.
Shut him down.
You've never seen a lich shut down. I mean, it's just so rare. It's one of those monsters that.
So that's
with utmost respect, and you just.
So I see you guys have these very cool hoodie, like windbreaker jackets that have the Order of the Amber Die. Do you have anything else, like when you finish a campaign, you get like little patches or something? My friend just did this. They just finished Karen Crown, and his GM made him these really cool patches.
Oh,
that
wow.
had like the years of like when he did it, and had little crow or raven on the top, and it's like purple and black. It's beautiful.
Love symbol. Nice.
You guys should do something like that.
We do
That's the
certificates
thought.
when we run events at different conventions. We give away
Yeah.
some certificates that are pretty nice.
Mhm.
Everybody that survives, are actually just playing through it.
Just playing through our
yeah,
That's actually not a bad idea.
Something like that. I mean, we're usually grinding so many adventures that. I think it'd be fun to have something for an 8th. Let's add it to the list.
Why
sounds
not?
Good. Yeah, maybe like even a trophy or something for.
Yeah, like even little baby trophies, or something like I'm going to do this for my fantasy baseball. Like you have a plaque. Actually, I saw your plaques in your room. You have a plaque, just like list the adventures and who was in it or something.
Yeah,
because it's like it seems like you guys. I mean, I see this book and that's nice, but you should have something more commemorative for everyone.
Yeah, it would be fun to do that. I mean, especially for the world record run that we had, the Giant Slayer one. Yeah, that was fun.
Right.
The world record.
That was.
Is that in Guinness?
So we contacted Guinness. Pretty interesting story. Yeah, and we definitely they don't really. It's interesting. They don't want to support for whatever reason tabletop RPGs. So they were like, well, you're just going to have to do what people do, which is dig and see if there is a record and really search extensively for this. And we came across something similar, and then create your own, document it really, really well, and wait and see if anyone emerges that has something that they've done that's also documented, and then you kind of figure out from there. And as it turned out, the tabletop RPG community just doesn't have enough people that are documenting records. I mean, we're all, there are plenty of people recording their games and so forth, but as far as trying for the most amount of material played in 6 months is what we were trying to do. It was 6, entire AP, 1 per 4 weeks.
Oh, Giant Slayer,
Giant Slayer for 6 months straight. I would never do it again, but
played each module as it came out.
Oh man,
we finished when we were. Well, I guess Giant Slayer finished us. There were some people on module 2 that thought they were playing pretty fast. Module 3, and we were done.
Yeah. And it was you and I who had over 500 hours as a player, 500 hours as a GM.
Right.
Separately. I mean, that's pretty, in 1 year.
So if people want to contact you guys or join the order or find out more, what should they do?
So I think, let's see, the best way to do it is probably our Facebook, to go to just, or the Amber Die Facebook, and you can always reach us through the Paizo blog as well. We're on there pretty often, just by searching Order of the Amber Die on Paizo, on their website. And
we also have threads that link all our projects as well outside the Paizo blog.
All right. And you guys put out a PDF every couple of months. You update the PDF of the current adventure you're doing. with some notes and information. I mean, I download them all the time and see the characters that you're playing. And who writes that up?
This guy.
Somehow, it's become more of a collaborative effort. But yeah, for the
I'll assist
initial
him wherever I
couple
can. But
projects,
Eric
does all of the stat block work for the order. So before anything goes up, he's going to clean it and look at it, and that's for all the players. And when we complete any module, so we'll play starting tomorrow. We'll play for 4 days. They've got about a 10-day window there where they have to submit a write-up, a stat block.
Yeah, I have to delegate all that, edit all of it, and then present it to him once they've submitted all the information the players have to do. But aside from the player stuff, it's really all Adam.
Yeah, which is also kind of why it's probably behind a little bit right now, because we didn't expect it to have so much material. But it's almost like, okay, well, now you can play this, and now you can play that, and now we're just like, no, guys, like we can't play everything, so we still have to write it up and talk about it and do other things, and so that's kind of I think the PDFs are what get pushed aside if we needed to create more hours to play, which is kind of what's always happening.
Create more hours to play.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. Soon, we could all be retired. We're all going to be in the home. We'll all be playing all the time. And then, is that the goal? Is that the goal to go to? You're saying about it was like a D&D retirement home or something.
That would be a great place. Yeah,
Yep.
I can't have that.
You don't have to travel anymore.
Yeah.
You get your meals all right there. You don't have to cook anymore. That's great.
That's actually good. I mean, my dad's in a place. They play golf all the time. Why can't you just go play D&D or Pathfinder or Starfinder every day, every other day? We talk about it ourselves. We're like, one day we're just going to do this all the time. Like, this is all we're going to do.
They always seem really comfortable in there.
Yeah.
I mean, plush chairs and just kind of.
There's supporting evidence.
Tables.
There's supporting evidence if you keep your mind active and sharp. I mean, that staves off dementia, Alzheimer's.
Of course.
I mean,
Yeah, there's just not enough time to play all the adventures out there. It's a lot of pressure.
I know. There's too much.
You got to try. That's it.
Oh, we're going to try.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. I have about 1,000 other questions, but I have a feeling we'll be talking again, and I can follow up with those questions.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, everyone. Steve here. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that. I've actually wanted to meet the Order for a long time once I heard about their group and found out they lived in New Jersey, and it was really cool. We posted a whole bunch of pictures of their secret lair on the website, so make sure you check that out. It's part of Jason's Talking Combat from last week. He wrote a great synopsis of the Order and what he thought about them. So a few things. First of all, we do have the PaizoCon contest. Don't forget, next week I'm going to be announcing the big winner of the PaizoCon contest. All you need to do is enter the contest. Just go to paizocon.rollforcombat.com, fill out the form, and you too are entered in. If you get all the answers right, and I call your name next week, you get to go. Make sure you check out the form. Also listen to last week's show where I go into a lot more details on how it works. But if you just go to paizocon.rollforcombat.com, you'll be pretty set. It has everything you need to know, so check that out. So last week I didn't do a tip, but I thought I would do one this week. This week's GMPC tip is why you should always use encumbrance. So, for the last couple of episodes, they've been spending a lot of time figuring out how much they can bring with them and how much things weigh and what they should and shouldn't bring with them because they're going to the middle of nowhere. So, why did I feel that this is important? I'm going to explain to you real quick. Encumbrance has been in the game for a long time, and it's one of those things that most people just ignore or just hand wave and say, oh, no, I don't care about that. Or they'll do something like get a handy haversack and just throw everything into that. The problem with that is, and I really don't like to do that, is with today's modern tools and being able to use computers and Excel spreadsheets and so forth, there really is no excuse not to use encumbrance. It's much easier to figure out what people are carrying around with them. The second thing is, especially in Starfinder, where encumbrance is now down to bulk, it's really, really easy to calculate. So again, there's no reason not to do it. But the main question comes down to, why should you do it? Why should you bother with encumbrance? The reason is very simple. It comes down to choice. If you look at some of the best games out there, you have games like XCOM, you have board games like Puerto Rico, you have pretty much any Euro-style board game, and where you have more actions than you have decisions. And because of that, you have to make very hard decisions. That is what encumbrance is. If there was no encumbrance, you can just bring everything with you, and then there's no decisions that have to be made. But once you realize that you have to limit how much you can bring with you on an adventure, it really starts to change your priorities, and it makes hard decisions for the PCs. And I much prefer the play that way. One, because it's a lot more realistic, and two, well, it makes them go through hard decisions. They have to decide, oh, okay, instead of bringing 5 weapons with me, I only have enough weight to bring 2 weapons with me. Or I can bring 5 weapons with me, but I'm going to go a lot slower in combat. And again, these are decisions that the designers of the game wanted you to make in the first place. They're in there for a reason. Hence, I always use encumbrance because it makes the PCs better players. It also adds another tactical element to the game, where you have to figure out what you're bringing with you and you can't bring everything in the kitchen sink. So that is really why I like to use encumbrance, and if you listen to a last episode especially, you'll hear them going through great pains of figuring out exactly how much they need to bring with them, realizing that they can't bring everything, at least without some penalties. They would have to go much slower, and since they're chasing someone through the jungle, that was a significant penalty. So they went through a lot of creative ways of having Wayless carry things, of having Cheddar carry things, and so forth. Again, I really feel that this is something that it adds a large tactical element to your role-playing game, and it might be a little annoying at first for your players, but if you do what I do, where I keep track of all the encumbrance, and again, it's really not that hard, especially in Starfinder, by doing that, it really makes it a lot easier for the players. And I strongly recommend that you, as a GM, try to help them out by tracking the encumbrance. You could also have one of the PCs try to do it, or better yet, if you're using something like Hero Lab, it'll do it for you. So what are the benefits of using encumbrance? Well, I kind of just went through that. It adds a nice tactical element to the game, and it also makes the PCs make hard decisions on what they can bring with them, and if they want to bring too much, well, then they really can't. And yeah, later in the game it gets a lot easier to carry things, but these guys are up to level 4 and they still haven't reached that point, and I think it's going to take quite a while before they really become, I don't know, pack mules where they can carry everything on their backs. The downside of it is, well, first of all, your PCs might complain. Second of all, someone actually has to keep track of it. And third of all, if you're not playing a system like Starfinder where it's way easier to track encumbrance, it might get kind of crazy. But then again, almost everyone I know uses an online tool like Hero Lab or something similar that will automatically track the encumbrance for you, and everyone knows how much loot they have, so again, this really shouldn't be that big a deal. So in the end, I strongly recommend you play with encumbrance. It will make a much more interesting game for both the players and the PCs. It allows them to make really hard decisions and realize that they can only bring what they need and not everything that they ever wanted with them. And if they do want to do that, then they have to figure out how to do it within the game system. I also like that it's a lot more realistic. I always hate when people are carrying around with them 500 suits of armor and 50 weapons, and then they just go into a dungeon and just switch out whatever they need. So let's go through a couple of show notes. First thing is, we have a new podcast. That's right, Starfinder Society. We're going to be releasing these every so often. I'm actually cutting up the episodes, so they should be pretty regular. The very first episode, we're doing Starfinder Society Module 1-10. I decided not to start with one of the beginner ones because everyone's done them already. And to be honest, I find them kind of basic. I just wanted to jump into the deep end with sort of a advanced module that was kind of crazy and a lot of fun, and I also know my players and I think they're really going to enjoy it, so that's the one I did. Those are going to actually come out probably on Wednesday. I just wanted to get the first one out early, but I think we're going to be coming out with those on Wednesdays, so the regular show is going to come out on Tuesdays, and then the Starfinder Society episodes will come out on Wednesdays when they come out. Don't forget, please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and Androids. Don't forget to check out Jason's Talking Combat column, which is out every Thursday on the website. Don't forget to join our Discord channel to play some Starfinder. You can check out images from all the shows, and you can follow us there at discord.rollforcombat.com. There's a lot of great people on there, and if you have any questions about Starfinder or role-playing in general, definitely check it out. These guys are really great. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Reddit has a brand new layout and design. We're on there as well. Don't forget, check out our Patreon. Everyone on our Patreon actually got to listen to the Starfinder episode early, and they actually get to see the images of the characters early as well, because those are still being worked on, and they'll be on the show soon. But right now, you can see them early if you join our Patreon. Make sure to check out our website, rollforcombat.com, You can see our reviews of things like Starfinder Pack World. You can read Talking Combat and lots of other cool articles that go up there. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, we have our Amazon $100 gift card that we give out. All you need to do is review the show on iTunes or Stitcher or Facebook and send us an email saying where you reviewed it and your name, and that's it, you're automatically entered. So this week's winner is Jamie Best. So Jamie Best, if you are listening, write me and you will get your free gift certificate. And finally, we are all going to PaizoCon. That's right. Every single person on the show, including Rob Tremarco, including Jason Keeley. Well, he works for Paizo, so of course he's going to be there. Plus, we're even helping out the No Direction podcast, and Param is coming with us. That's right. I mean, he's going to go with his guys, but we're helping him get there. And we're helping out the Order of the Amber Dyed. That's right. Adam from the Order is coming too. And I think he's bringing a couple of friends. So we're going to be there in force. There's going to be all the No Direction guys, a couple of the Amber guys there, everyone from Roll for Combat. And then plus we have the prize winner who's going to be there. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to be bringing t-shirts. We're going to be having talks. We're going to be playing games. It is going to be exhausting. I don't think I'm going to sleep for 4 days straight. I can't wait. So if you can get to PaizoCon, please get to it. It is awesome. I actually like it more than Gen Con, which is saying a lot because I love Gen Con. It's that much fun. Plus you get to play the new Pathfinder version 2. They're going to have tons and tons of tables playtesting. So if you can get there, do get there. Whew. All right. Lot going on. Need to go rest. Talk to you guys next week. See ya.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat, a Starfinder actual play podcast. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com or drop us a line at contact@rollforcombat.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and other social media platforms. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember Moe's motto, I reserve the right to complain like a baby.